Time waits for no one, and it won't wait for me. I used to do a Mick Jagger, actually. I used to. Tanya can tell you about me actually doing. Tanya can tell you about me doing the Jagger strut. So Mason, maybe one day at one of our family outings, you can get me to do the Jagger strut. So, all right, you ready to go, brother?
I was born ready.
All right, well, let's get this thing started. 3, 2, 1.
With 50 plus years of combined produce, supply chain, entrepreneurial, and business experience, Craig, Slate, and Ed Bertaud discuss the impacts of fresh produce on their lives and health. This podcast is a casual conversation between two friends just trying to get better. This is the Fresh CrEd.
We are here, Ed, and ready to rock and roll. And that's kind of specific on the rock and roll reference. That would be an intended pun, if you will. Because, well, let me first check in on you. I don't want to get the show started without getting a pulse on you, and you know, I kind of felt a little bad. You know, when we were getting ready for this, you seemed like you were a little bit distracted, but you seem better now. It's like something, maybe the coffee you're drinking. I don't know. I feel like you've kind of picked it up since we kind of got started this morning. So
The coffee
how you
helps,
doing, Ed?
but hey, I'm just trying to be, trying to listen more and talk less. I guess that's not good for this venue, right?
So that's man, you're taking me already off on a different path. Because so all right, we got to come back to talking less and listening more. I want to come back to that as you said that. But all right, so but you're doing good. Everybody's well. You feel great today.
Fantastic.
It's a Sunday morning, beautiful Sunday morning there in South Texas.
Yes, sir. Sunny, hot, real hot. But looking forward to the fall, if you will. We don't really have a fall, but yeah. Actually met a couple people this weekend that share my passion for hunting out in Colorado. It was pretty funny, a big coincidence, I guess. They'd been hunting an area about 30 miles away since the 70s. So we had a lot to talk about. That was pretty neat. But anyway.
Well, yes. It is pretty cool.
Feeling good today.
Hey, your lid looks awesome. I love the lid you got working there, brother. Nice.
It's a little small in my big head, but I'm going to try to wear it, promote it.
Yeah, but every lid that you put on that melon is typically small.
Thanks.
So, well, okay. I've got the opposite problem. I've got a peanut head, you know, and so every lid I put on my head, I used to wear a cowboy hat. My sister said I used to look like a tater bug under a tater leaf. So
I'm not even going to try to translate that for so do you know your hat size, by the way?
Man, 7 1/4.
Really?
I think that's what it is.
I think you might be embellishing a little bit.
I might be. It shrunk after
I think you're in the 6s because I'm a 7 3/8.
Both. Everything about me is everything about me is shrinking.
You might be a 6 1/4.
All right. Back to the introduction. All right, so back to rock and roll, and you know what? I mean, I don't. So there is. I do. There's a couple of things in the show, and I want to get into the show and talk about it. But we do need to. It was a difficult week, and I would be remorse if we didn't acknowledge. First and foremost, the soldiers that are coming home today, the 13 soldiers that lost their lives over in Afghanistan. You know, just hearts go out, but most importantly, you know, for me, and it's a time to remember that everybody, those that are serving now, those that have served in the past, we owe such a great level of gratitude and thanks for, and the families and the people's lives that are also connected and affected by those soldiers that they're giving so much for us and for our country. And so I just want to bring that up and make mention of that and acknowledge those 13 young men. So,
amen.
Sad week for sure. And then also we rock and roll lost somebody this week. Some people will know listening, it depends on your age and everything. I know at work I mentioned Charlie Watts passing away. No one knew what band he played for. So I guess that really tells you my age. And yeah, Charlie Watts, 80 years old, drummer.
I'm not a
Did
Stones fan, but I'm a drummer, so I know exactly who Charlie Watts is.
How could you not? You really weren't a Stones fan, man?
No. I mean, I appreciate the music, but
Such great music.
I don't listen to them. I don't have any of their albums on my iTunes or anything, but I can appreciate the music and their significance in rock and roll history. And that's good too, right?
Well, I saw him in concert twice. It was quite the show. Red Hot Chili Peppers is still by far my favorite live and in person, and probably my all-time favorite band, I guess. But the Stones, when I was a young person, growing up, high school, very influential and very much a part of our my high school days. And yeah, I certainly have been a huge Stones fan. My brother was a huge Stones fan in the 70s. And so hate to see Charlie go. I think Oddsmaker would have had Charlie last to go, and a couple of the other ones, particularly Keith Richards, probably the leadoff guy out of there. But given the way they all lived their lives, Charlie was the most conservative of the group, for sure. But sad deal. Sad, and rock and roll continues to lose some great folks. Music industry as the old timers move on. So, but anyway.
So what does it mean to be a Rolling Stone?
Moss never grows on a Rolling Stone, buddy. As long as you keep rolling, you'll collect no moss. And so that's going to take us right into perfect segue for my quote anyway.
I live for perfect segues, by the way.
You what?
I mean, I live for a good segue. Gosh.
Well, I try really hard to,
it feels so good.
Put those together. Yeah, I know. It acts like we know what we're doing. That's great. All right, here it is. Ed, okay, you got your thinking face on. I love that. See, I appreciate this is that listening more thing that you're working on. So I see you're actually attentive. Drink in your summer, gather your corn. The dreams of the nighttime will vanish by dawn. Yes, time waits for no one, and it won't wait for thee. Keith Richards and Mick Jagger.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I didn't know. Keith Richards and Mick Jagger. They came up with that. Yeah, that's the song. And if you've never heard Time Waits for No One by the Stones, go take a listen to it. And it's the reality of it is for all of us, it's not going to wait on, live the day and make sure that you're taking and making the most of it and don't waste them, because time ain't going to wait for me or you, buddy. And we get a little bit older each day, and so we just need to try and make the most of it. So great line. It's absolutely fabulous lyrics in that song. I could have picked out 2 or 3 different quotes out of there. Just it's all good. But yeah, so that's kind of again. I mean, this show is about us getting better. It's about health. But when things like people, and dying and stuff come up, I think we need to recognize it and talk about that too, because that's part of life.
Is that what you were singing on the pre-show call?
I was. That was the song I was. Well, yeah. So maybe he gets cut into the show. I don't know. I think I did a good job. I maybe not quite as good as Mick Jagger. I do a better George Strait than I do a Mick Jagger when it comes to karaoke.
I've been to a George Strait concert with you.
What,
You were doing quite a bit of singing.
I did the. Oh, you mean at the George Strait concert? I was singing right along with him, wasn't I?
Yeah, in your dreams. So I love your quote. That was great. I mean, it is a lyric, right? It's their lyrics.
Yes,
song,
yeah.
but...
Well, I mean, yeah, it's still a quote, but yeah, it's from a song.
Yeah, I like it. Mine's not as long.
Okay.
But I like it.
Mm-hmm.
What will matter is the good we did, not the good we expect others to do.
You think do you agree with that?
I do. I mean,
I don't know.
I read a lot into
expecting other people
not making
I
excuses.
prefer expecting everybody else to do good and me not do good. I kind of like that.
That would be nice, but unrealistic. So Elizabeth Lesser said that. She's an author of healthy living, spirituality, education. So it was good.
So you listened to her. Is she a podster that you listen to? How'd you come across Elizabeth? Did you just looking through your different?
Actually, it was passed along to me by a listener.
Oh,
one of our listeners.
No, well, I kind of assumed it was one of our listeners.
Well, you never know. I mean, I'm not sure how many are out there, but yes, one of our listeners.
That's cool. Very nice.
Yes.
Well, I may have to look up Elizabeth Lesser. That's good. I agree with that. What matters is the good we did, not the good we expect others to do. Yeah, but that's something I need to work on.
You're inspired to change the world this week, I can tell.
I really am. I really am. I don't know what I'm going to change it into, but it's going to be something different. Nope. You know what, Ed? It comes back to changing the world starts with you. That's the deal.
That's right.
So I'm inspired to change me this week.
Do you know how yet, or just
no?
Okay.
Now this is it right here. It's just it's just great just to have good thoughts. You don't have to actually put any action against it. Just thinking it sounds good. It's kind of like a thought that counts, right? Isn't that what they say? Thought that counts. So add a thought. Don't really have to do anything with it.
Yeah. Well, I guess before we move forward with any additional happy thoughts, I mean, it's hard not to think about the folks in New Orleans today as Hurricane Ida is approaching the coast.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. Holy cow. And that dude is ramped up. It's Category 4 or something like that now. I mean, it's looked like it was a tropical depression up until about, I don't know, 24, 36 hours ago. And now it just exploded once it got in the Gulf.
Yeah. Look, I hate to say it, but we dodged a bullet here. We had the hurricane last year and it was a 2. I don't know. I'd venture to say it was closer to a 3, but it did a lot of damage. I mean, that we're still dealing with. And we don't get nearly as many hurricanes as Louisiana does. But I feel for them. It's gonna do a lot of damage. Have you ever experienced a hurricane?
Relatively mild. When I lived in Houston, we had one. Yeah, but it wasn't anything. In fact, it wasn't a direct hit on us, and so probably I would say not really, because I've been in some storms both in Dallas and in Houston that were worse than that hurricane, quote unquote, that I was part of. I mean, like I say, I've been in. I've sat and watched from my house in Dallas that last big tornado that went through. It literally went across the lake from where I was at. We literally saw it out the window going across. And I've actually been part of a couple of tornadoes. There was both all of them in Texas or in Dallas area, but never a hurricane.
Yeah, I don't know what's scarier. I mean, tornadoes, you don't see them coming, kind of like earthquakes, which I was in one of the worst earthquakes, the 89 Loma Prieta earthquake. I
Is
was in
that the
high
one up
school.
in NorCal that the bridge fell up in the Bay Area and all
Yeah,
that? Yeah.
yeah. I've never told you about that.
No,
Hmm. Well,
this is a
we're
great
we're
time.
talking we're talking
Tell
hurricanes.
me and the listeners. Tell me and the listeners. We didn't have this in our notes, so we're gonna go off script.
Oh no, you know what
Ed,
happens when we go off
Ed's
script.
Ed's
Um,
adventure in '89 earthquake.
yeah, I mean, it was pretty scary. But I was asking about hurricanes because Callie and I were watching the news this morning, and we're watching, the details of the hurricane, and we were debating whether or not if we had a known hurricane Category 4 coming at us, if we would leave the house or not. But after going through, our hurricane last year, which was only a 2, I argue it was stronger, but regardless, I think I would. I think we would just pack up and leave. Category 4, that's I think up to 155 miles an hour. It's pretty serious.
Yeah, yeah, no, for sure. Like I say, when I lived in Houston, we were up north of. So Houston's enormous, and we were on the north side of it. So you can bump flooding, tornadoes, wind, but at the end of the day, even it's not the same as being in Galveston or being in New Orleans or being somewhere where you're right there you're on the doorstep of the ocean. And um and I guess for you guys there, how far are you from, as the crow flies, how far are you from the coast?
60-ish miles.
Yeah. And it's flat. I mean, you guys got nothing
Yeah.
between you and the coast, right?
Yeah, it's pretty flat. I mean, it slows down for sure, but it's still pretty intense. The weirdest
Yeah.
thing I experienced, and I've only been in 3, um, or experienced 3, is when the eye goes over, everything calms down to a perfect stillness, and then it starts back up again on the backside. That's the weirdest part. Not to mention, here in South Texas, we have a lot of bugs and critters and frogs. You hear frogs, croaking like
Yeah.
deafening because they've all been, I guess, pushed out of the ground from all the rain and stuff. So it's pretty weird. It's a weird experience.
What? Well, the tornadoes, so once, all right, so the kids are all young. I think Granger was still in like a high chair. We're having, we were pretty good about having family dinners every evening. And um, we lived on 5 acres back then in a small town. And there was a couple of trees out in front. We had a pond out front and had a couple of trees out there, and we were all having dinner. And all of a sudden, everything stopped. The wind stopped. And I knew it was weird, right? Because it was a storm. And so I got up and I looked out the window, and the trees, and I'm making a hand motion for anybody listening, but the trees went from blowing one direction till they got pulled backwards. At that point in time, and everybody knew, because I'm quite the jokester, right? People knew when I mean, in this moment, I turn around and there was nobody questioned whether I was joking. They could see in my face because I said, "Everybody, get to the closet now!" And I grab up Granger out of the chair. We all take off running, and we had it. It went right in front. I mean, we lost a tree, and I don't. Obviously, it wasn't terribly big, but it was went right through the front part of the pasture and went across that. But yeah, it gets super still, and then all of a sudden, all hell breaks loose. Anyway,
The old calm before the storm.
Calm before the storm for sure. But
Yeah, that scares the heck out of me. I mean, it's equivalent to an earthquake as far as I'm concerned, because you don't see it coming. At least a hurricane, you have warning. You can prepare. The damage and the loss is usually greater. Well, maybe not than a tornado, but as far as the amount of area that's covered, but at least you see it coming. But tornadoes and earthquakes, yeah, I don't miss earthquakes.
Yeah, and then earthquakes. I forgot, but Tanya and I lived in Costa Mesa for about 7 months, and we got a trimmer or whatever, but it was still bizarre. We were living in an apartment, and in fact, not being accustomed to it, not being around it, it took us a few minutes to even recognize what had happened. It was just like the way things moved and shook. It's hard to even describe what it was kind of like. It was so bizarre. But now, how close were you in '89 to the epicenter on that deal? Were you in Gilroy?
Yeah, I was in Gilroy. I was in high school in '89. I graduated high school in '91. So we were at football practice.
No doubt.
We were at football practice. I remember it like it was yesterday. Our head coach, somehow the girls' field hockey team had come over. We shared, it was a big, huge field, right? Our practice field, and shared it with other sports. Somebody from the girls' field hockey team had come over and asked our coach if we'd come over and support them at a game for a while during a break. So we did. So we went over there. He allowed us to take our shoulder pads off, cool off a little bit. That scorching 80-degree California weather.
Well, I was going to say, Gilroy, what a tough place to have 2 days.
So we were all down, on one knee and shoulder pads off, watching the game. And he called us back to practice. And I remember getting up, trying to get up and to start to put my pads on. And as I had them over my head is when it hit.
Oh, wow.
And so I had my arms in the sleeves, and I had them over my head. And as it hit, I pulled them off, and I left my arms in the sleeves, and I just started looking around. And now, mind you, our head coach was from Canada. He'd never experienced an earthquake. So his first earthquake was a 6.9, earthquake that is now known as the Loma Prieta earthquake. The grass looked like 5-foot waves. I mean, the grass
really
was
that
waving.
big?
Oh, huge. Yeah, I might be embellishing, but it looked huge. Knocked people off their feet. He was on the ground, spread eagle. He later said, maybe jokingly, that he felt that if the earth opened up, that he would be able to brace himself. And there was a creek that goes by the side of the school, a lot of oak trees, tons, real dense. It sounded like somebody was grabbing a handful of leaves and just crushing them in your ears. Windows breaking. I remember hearing windows breaking, and then looking over far away from the field, there was like the bus turnaround where the school buses were at, and the buses were shaking, 50, 60 degrees at least side to side. And then the poles in the stadium looked like they were almost, again, embellishing. In my mind, I remember almost 90 degrees, but they're probably 30, 40 degrees, bending back and forth, shaking.
Either way, yeah.
Yeah, it was bad. And we wrapped up practice, and we didn't have school for that part I'm a little unclear on. I think it was a week, maybe more. We didn't have school. Literally, it was like impromptu vacation. So madness ensued, as you can imagine. Oddly enough,
that's probably what happened after the earthquake, and the madness that ensued is probably the better story of this. But
yeah, we'll save that for another day. It was kind of weird at home. We didn't have much damage, but we lived kind of out in the middle of nothing. Like, we lived in the middle of a bunch of ag fields. It was almost like a little island. So, stuff was knocked over, and my mom's curio cabinet and stuff like that. Kind of the normal stuff you would expect. But, there were actually cracks in the ground in certain, like in San Juan, I think there's a restaurant where is it called the Fault Line? Or it used to be. Anyway, like the back of the restaurant, there's a patio area that's like 2 different levels, and apparently it has something to do with the fault line.
Part of it fell through or something.
Yeah, I didn't fall through. It's just one part's higher than the other, if I recall. It's been a long time.
Got you.
But The World Series was going on at that time. I don't know if you remember watching
Exactly.
the
I
news.
knew there was. I couldn't remember if it was a World Series or just a playoff game, but yeah,
It
Giants
was the third
Stadium.
game of the World Series at Candlestick Park, and I remember watching on the news. Somebody was working up in one of the lights or something like that, and they got video of it, like the stadium
You think you
lights
were
shaking.
scared?
Yeah, that guy.
that guy's got a better story than you.
I definitely hope he had a change of clothes because
All right, so what else we got here on the old weekly wrap up?
are we done with natural disasters?
I think we probably should. We said we weren't going to talk a lot of weather on this show, but it seems like we talk a lot of dadgum weather on this show.
Well,
right?
You wanted a story. I gave you a story.
Yeah, you did. I like it. I've got some other ones that I know about that I want to get out of you, but I'm not going to put you on the spot.
Okay, thank you.
You know what? But we can talk. You know what? If so, since we this is a health show, right? I came across something this week that I think is super relevant for us to get into, and that is the 5 pillars, the 5 fitness pillars. You ready to talk about those, Ed? Uh-oh. I think you may have froze up over there, bud. Or that, or you putting on your stoic face. I'm not sure. Nope. There you are. You're back. Stay with me, Ed. Don't go away. Don't hang up. All right. Did you hear any of that?
I did. I heard about the 5 pillars.
Yeah. Well, you didn't respond. You just gave me that stoic face.
Well, that was the freeze, probably. It wasn't that stoic.
Oh, that wasn't that.
All right, don't move. What are the 5 pillars, Craig?
There we go. Gosh, see, that's how this works. See? You don't just go to stoic face. This is where you have to do talking and not just listening.
Yeah.
So.
Well,
We got to come back to that.
I'm your Ed McMahon.
We do the 5
apparently.
pillars.
I'm Ed McMahon to your Johnny Carson. You are correct, sir.
That's pretty good. I hadn't thought about it. Correct, sir. That's greatness. Kids, go back and watch some Johnny Carson and Ed McMahon. That was some great stinking television. All right. So first and foremost, and I say I did not pick this for you. These are legit. But number 1, quit obsessing over how you look is el numero uno for 5. What?
Guilty dog
oh my
barks
God.
first.
What do you, oh my God?
You're telling me this is for me? Really?
Yeah. Look, come on. Come on, Mr. Euro Golf Pants.
Oh my. Okay, Mister, is my camera angle right? Let's leave it at that.
Well, maybe we both suffer a little bit. Maybe
Okay.
both of us suffer a little bit of that. So, all right. So that's. But number 1, quit obsessing over how you look. They got a picture of young Schwarzenegger here on this thing I'm looking at. So, this one I love. This one's good for not just health. This is good for life. Do anything but nothing. That's number 2. Do anything but nothing. That's beautiful. Number 3.
Even if it's wrong.
So train. What's that?
Even if it's wrong.
What did you say?
Even if it's wrong.
Yeah, that's right. Do something, even if it's wrong. Exactly. This one's I'm gonna put a little color behind this one. Train, don't exercise. So this is a great explanation to a strength coach. Exercise and training are as different as chalk and cheese. That's pretty different. Chalk and cheese. Not a lot of similarities between those two. I've probably eaten chalk, but not wanting to. Mm-hmm. Exercise is something you do today because of how it makes you feel today. Says, Ripto. This guy's name's Ripto. Rippito. R-A-P-P-E-Toe. Ripto. That's a great name. I'd love to have Ripto as a name.
Yeah, I like that.
I'm sorry. Exercise is something you do today because of how it makes you feel today. Training is a planned process to achieve a result somewhere down the road. That's what the hell we're doing. We're training every day, Ed.
Mm-hmm.
We're planning our process for something down the road. Like it. So remember, train, don't exercise. So when you do your jailhouse push-ups, you're not exercising, you're training, okay?
So, if you train, do you ever exercise? Answer me that.
Riddle me that. And I would say yes. Yes.
Okay. All right.
What say you?
I'm open. I mean, just tell me what to think and I'm going to do it.
Yeah,
I'm thinking
that's great.
training.
You're thinking training. So, but your question, do
Well,
you
I
ever
think
exercise?
if you're exercising to feel good for that day,
Yeah.
I do know that there are days that I think, man, if I exercise, I'm going to feel better. So am I training or am I just exercising, or does it matter?
Well, so training is you got it's cheese and chalk, Ed.
Okay.
Right? It's cheese and chalk, for crying out loud. So training, you're preparing. You got a plan. It's a whole. It encompasses all things. To exercise is singular. Actually, that cheese and chalk is really a crappy. I mean, it's not that. I mean, I get the differences. They want to make a stark difference, but they're kind of in the same family. It might be as different as cheese and I don't know. Think of something different than cheese. Cheese and fudge. I think it's as different as cheese and fudge. Both
Okay.
are foods, right?
Getting hungry.
Well, don't eat cheese or fudge. Get those out of your diet. But anyway,
Fudge is so good,
point being
though.
is, your dark chocolate. If you got to have some chocolate, dark chocolate got to be over 70%. Got to be bitter. Got to be that good. Yeah. And so that's pretty good, but in moderation. Training is a whole package. It's a plan. It's a future. You're training. Think about this. Olympians, right? They're training for the day that they get to the event and they can excel at that event. Now, part of that training includes exercise, good sleep, blah, 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 blah. So exercise is part of it. But exercise and training are as different as fudge and cheese.
It's long term. It's a long term goal. I heard an interview with Lance Armstrong. Post scandal, and whether you like him or not, I mean,
I like him.
The amount of training that those guys do is just ridiculous. It's to be admired for sure.
Anybody that's just anything they excel at, yeah, it's amazing the commitment some of these folks make. And this one is change it up. Change it up is the way, to make it says here, to make progress, you need to take strategic recovery breaks. A lot of activities that we think are helpful or not. It's like they use they use a baseball player and elbow injuries and they have to do other positions. You can't keep repeating the same old thing over and over. Eventually, you'll drive injury towards that. So you got to change it up, take breaks, do things differently, maybe stretch different. I know, but change it up. It's what it says. I'm just giving you the 5 pillars these people said. And don't be repetitive.
Can I interject?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
On the recovery aspect, so that Whoop band device, it's like a Fitbit, but on steroids. I think I mentioned to you before, I don't have one, but I'm still considering getting one. But it's heavily focused on recovery, like recovery metrics. And I just noticed recently, so I know a lot of the PGA Tour players have been using them. I knew that Rory McIlroy has been using one.
Well, that's what I was going to tell you. I saw that yesterday. I never, until you had mentioned to me, until I saw yesterday.
What'd you see?
Him doing an ad.
Oh, okay.
I saw I saw his ad. I saw him playing with it, but I just thought it was a Fitbit. It looked like a Fitbit, and then I saw the ad.
Okay, well, you didn't ruin my story yet, but
no.
So I don't know if you noticed. So Friday night, I had recorded the tournament for the day, and I was watching it, speed watching it, and they're actually starting to post up on the screen the Whoop. I mean, they obviously have a partnership with Whoop now. PGA Tour does. So as he was about to hit the ball, it showed his beats per minute. I mean, there are other metrics that thing measures, but for this visual, it popped up on the screen, the beats per minute, and it had the Whoop logo on there. So some kind of partnership they have with the PGA. And so they were showing his heart rate go, from pre-shot. This was with the driver, pre-shot, impact and post-shot. That was pretty cool. But the thing that really stuck out to me was his heart rate was higher putting than driving. And if you know Rory McIlroy, I mean, he hits the crap out of it. Obviously exerts more energy, hitting a tee shot than he does putting. But
sure,
there's more stress involved with putting usually. So that was pretty neat. I think he was like 99 pre-shot drive, 101, during, and like 103 after. And when he was putting, it was like 108.
Really? Yeah. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's pretty neat.
So yeah, I have to look into that. So like I say, I was, up until you had mentioned it to me before, and then seeing it yesterday, because I'm curious as to, with so much stuff already out there, Garmin was a forerunner in that. And of course, Fitbit was the most known, and now Apple's got their whole deal with it. And we've talked about the Oura Ring, which is out there. Just curious, what are these guys bringing to the party that's not already there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know?
I don't. I don't.
So
it looks
I gotta
cool.
Look into that.
And
well,
I know that
anything a PGA player wears.
No, it's a longer term commitment. You basically pay by the year, and then they give you the device. So they really rope you in. But
yeah, they lost me at subscription.
Well,
not gonna do it. Not gonna do it.
Do you have any wine subscriptions? Be honest, because the wine industry is very well known for these subscription programs.
I might have a couple.
Okay. So you're not totally opposed to subscription services?
No, I am not.
Okay.
I just think, not for a watch. Wine, maybe.
Okay.
It's priorities, baby. All right, so change it up, Ed. You know what? Let's don't do the same thing every day. You know what? Don't do jailhouse exercise every day. Maybe, I don't know. I guess I got to think about that, because I run every day except one. So maybe I need to think that through. I got to look into that.
I can see you
on a
Nordic
one is
track.
Really good. This is one.
I can see you on one of those. You remember those skiing machines at Nordic Track? It was like their first thing that they developed.
Sure. Absolutely.
I can see you on a Nordic track. Yeah.
Can you? Why can you? Why?
Well, you're very Nordic.
I mean, I can
looking,
see nobody else.
Especially when you grow that beard. So yeah, I could see on the Nordic track.
I didn't get a chance to get it on. I didn't get it trimmed up a little bit today, but
everything makes a comeback. It's pretty apparent to me. So I think that Nordic track's going to make a comeback.
I think you should get one. Be an early adopter. Get 10, and then you can flip them. That way you're ahead of the curve. What about that thing? Now, you probably don't remember this. This was a 60s thing, but you may have seen one in your archives. So it was a machine that you stood on, and this belt went around your back, and it vibrated the hell out of you. And supposedly it was supposed to vibrate the weight off. You ever seen one of those bad boys?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Definitely.
Is that coming back?
I've tried one. I don't think that's going to come back.
I know I've tried one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what about that?
I don't know why.
Showtime
What flashed in my mind? We had at home. I don't even know when my dad bought it, because we definitely didn't. No, I know why he used it. He used it to wash like shop towels and stuff, like greasy towels. He bought one of those old washing machines that there's a tub and it's open top, and then you run it through the rollers. but it was electric. It
Yeah,
wasn't
you
a hand
crank it
crank.
through the roller.
This one was electric, so it
Okay.
was a little bit newer. It wasn't quite the modern washing machine. We had one of those at home. That's what flashed in my mind was that thing, because I remember trying to stick my hand in there in the rollers.
Well, down the street from where I grew up, there was a car wash, and they had that very thing, right? You know, you get your towel. So they had it like as a service, like you throw your towels off in there and they'd wash them up and you squeeze it. But now it was a hand cranker, dude. But yeah. All right. But on the exercise, so you don't think the belt machine's coming back. What about that Showtime show? What's it called? Jazzercise. Remember that Showtime show?
Mm-mm.
80s. The 80s Jazzer. Oh, you got to
I know what
that up.
Jazzercise is, but I don't remember the show.
Oh my gosh, I don't think it was called Jazzercise. Let me see. Showtime Jazzercise show. Let's see what it's called.
All right, so we're just.
You know what? We can Ron Harris, aerobicize or something. I've got a delivery here. Aerobics from the 80s. It was a Showtime. Yeah, so you have to go back, click that up and watch that sometime.
Okay.
Let me know if you think that's coming back.
All right.
So that was quite the show. All right, finally,
change it up.
Listen to your body. Change it up, and then listen to your body is super important, especially when you get to be our age. And now, you're getting close enough that I get to include you in my age group. I'm no longer going to say my age.
Okay.
Because the worst thing you can do in all of this is really get injured. Injury's no good. Right. It's not good when you're young, but when you're young, you recover and get through it. But injury for us is way detrimental. It keeps us from being able to get out and get any kind of exercise and do the things that we need to do. And so definitely something you need to listen to and watch your body, pay attention to it. And that's why I always say, for me, the metrics. It's not just about weight loss. It's like when you go to the doctor, how's your blood pressure? How's your pulse? How is your what's your cholesterol? None of what I'm doing is any good if I show up and I'm not showing up on the score sheet at the doctor's office in a good way, right? So anyway, that's the 5 things. I thought they were all pretty good. That change up one, I got to do some thinking on the change up because I kind of like doing one thing, doing the same exercise week in, week out. But I got to look into that. Maybe they got something there. Maybe I'm messing up. Anyway,
I hadn't even thought about it, but I've been having this pain, which I believe is tennis elbow. It might be those handles that I use for push-ups, so maybe I'll lay off of those for a while. But I'm thinking about having a cortisone shot there because it's really hurting. And it's one of those things that it doesn't even hurt more when I use it or I move it a certain way. It just comes and goes. And it feels like what I would imagine. I think I might have even done this before when I was younger and dumber. Light a Bic lighter for a while, let it get hot, let that metal piece get real hot on top, and then touch it to your skin. That's kind of what it feels like in my arm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's just burning.
So you used to do that?
I think I did it once because it left like a smiley face.
Oh.
You never did that?
Did you ever do one of those branded tattoos?
No, never did that. There was a kid at school that used to burn his skin with an eraser, though, and make like he'd take an eraser and burn letters and stuff.
Yeah, I don't remember actually putting letters. I remember that. I remember burning letters with or not burning letters, but yeah, burning your skin with that.
Have you ever had a cortisone shot? Treatment?
I have not.
Yeah.
No.
Are you averse to
try
needles?
Avoid the doctor at all costs.
Are you okay with needles?
No, I'm not. I just had. I'm pretty good with most needles. I don't like to watch. But
have you ever seen the type of needle that they use for a cortisone shot?
I haven't, but I'm gonna guess it's probably a lot like an epidural needle.
Let me give you an idea. So you're sitting on the edge of the bed there in the doctor's office. They come in. Mm-hmm. The needle is big enough that this is I had done on my knees. I thought it was big enough that I thought they were going to go in one knee and out the other. That's how big the needle was.
Well,
Yeah.
why the hell they need a needle that damn big?
It's the weirdest thing, and it's funny. I don't think I'd get in trouble for saying this, but the doctor I was going to at the time, I don't go to him anymore, but he walks in and got a med student with him. Says, "Hey, first time I've ever had a cortisone shot in my knee." Which, mind you, I hear there's diminishing returns, but for me, it was like a year that my knees felt great. So he walks in, he's got the needle, and he says, "Hey, this is a intern or med student. Do you mind if she administers, the treatment?" And I look at him like, really? I mean, this is my first cortisone shot, and you're going to give it to a rookie to do, She looked like she was about 12. And says, "Do you mind if she administers the treatment?" And I thought to myself, it's my first time. I knew it was going to hurt. And he kind of didn't give me a choice, because he followed that with, "She's probably got a lighter touch than I do anyway." So his heart wasn't in it. Okay. So I think somebody else comes from around the corner with this needle that looked like, again, it was going to go in one knee and out the other. I mean, it was huge. It burned, but it was actually pretty interesting. I mean, obviously these folks know what they're doing. They find, you're sitting at the edge of the bed there, and the examination table, and your legs are hanging down. And so they find like this notch, I don't know what the technical term is, but in your knee, and the needle just goes right in. It's crazy. It's like a dang dipstick. And yeah, it burned for a while, but my knees felt really good for about a year or so. Yeah, I have a friend that's an orthopedic PA, and he told me, "Just come to the office and we'll fix up your elbow." So I'm thinking about doing it. Now, I've heard bad things about long-term exposure to cortisone, your heart. Right? I need to dig in a little bit more there, but
yeah, it's always my motto. Unless I just got to, I don't go. So I'm looking at a picture of the old needle.
Don't tell me it's not impressive. Maybe.
Well, I'm thinking it may. So Tanya had an epidural, and so I've seen what that looks like. I tend to think it looks like that needle.
That one was pretty gnarly. The epidural, yeah, I've seen those too. I think those are more flexible.
So either way, you know what?
Mine felt like, at least in my mind, those big giant Texas sparklers they sell at the fireworks stand. That's what mine.
Yeah.
I think that's what mine looked like.
Okay, yeah.
Ed envisions like a harpoon going into his
I was
knee.
gonna say, Ed and his earthquake memories, 5-foot grass waves and light towers that are touching the ground as they sway back and forth. I mean,
it's my story.
Maybe
that's all I gotta say. It's my story.
You know what? You know what? Have you ever thought about writing a novel, Ed?
I haven't, but
you know what? I think you should write a novel. You're very descriptive and you have a way of,
so
you think
fiction.
about 5-foot grass waves. I mean,
fiction, is that what you're saying?
What?
Fiction. Okay.
Yeah. I think fiction would be important, but I mean, just think about that. I mean, I can envision 5-foot grass waves. I'm like, wow, that's huge. But see, that was your description, right? And the light poles touching the ground as they swayed back and forth, and and then the little cafe that fell in the crater, all that. Like I say, you're very, very good with the description. So, yeah, you should.
Yeah, well,
you should write a little something.
There were some decent writers from the Monterey Bay area, so Steinbeck.
Yeah, there were a couple. So
yeah, there were a couple.
You could be the next one. But does Gilroy get counted in the Monterey Bay area? Or are you just trying to
when it's convenient?
Slam on to that.
Well, like our football league was a Monterey Bay league, so I'll count it.
Yeah.
Hey, I watched. Do you know who Bob Ross is?
Of course, I know Bob Ross. That's how I learned to paint.
Have you watched the documentary on Netflix?
No, but it is on the list.
Okay, put it on the list. It's pretty good.
Was he an alcoholic kind of guy?
No. No, you won't be
Okay.
disappointed with your view of Bob Ross after it. You won't, but it's an
Good.
interesting story. It's a
Yeah.
documentary.
Well, not that I'd be disappointed. If he was an alcoholic, I wouldn't have been disappointed in him.
No,
I mean,
not that. I'm
it's
just
what it
saying, like,
was.
if you like, we talked about the Mr. Rogers one, right? Like, he was as nice a guy as you
Yeah.
thought he was, right? So, same thing with Bob Ross.
Right.
Like, it's just
All right.
it's an interesting story. And so my TV in our bedroom is a smart TV, so it's a Samsung hooked up to the internet, right? And when you turn it on, it doesn't go
Of course.
right to cable; it goes right to like the Samsung channel. And for the past, I don't know, couple months, the first thing that comes on when you turn it on is Bob Ross, the Bob Ross channel, and 5 times out of 10, I catch myself watching almost an entire episode. You know, it's not like, I'm not a painter. I'm not artistic that way, but like anything, it's really cool to watch somebody that's good at what they do.
Yeah.
And who knows? I mean, he inspired a lot of people to paint. He was a rock star, particularly in that world. I mean, he was a rock star in general, I think, but yeah, you'll be surprised like how big of a following he had. And now
Tanya
like,
and I were actually talking about that yesterday. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So he's definitely that show, and watching that's soon to be viewed here in the Slate household. So.
Oh, that's right.
She does a
She's
little painting.
Painter. Yeah.
So.
You can put 2 and 2 together, but definitely.
Yeah, for
She will
sure
like
for
it.
her, and you know, I'm looking at dabbling in it. Except I'm going to take my painting to the NFT world, so I'm just going to go right to the future.
I see you as an
There's more of a
abstract
place for me.
I see you as an abstract artist.
Yeah, something like that. It will definitely be unconventional, I can assure you.
So,
hey man, I've seen some stuff in the NFT world. I think I'm going to be a hit. You know, I almost bought. So, just to jump off with this is a weird.
Are you going to talk about crypto?
Not really even a segue at all.
Are you going to talk about crypto?
No, I'm not going to talk about crypto. It's still back in the NFT world, and so I was looking this week. In fact, I was going to go and buy it. I actually put aside some money to go and bid on it, but I figured it got too. I haven't gone back and looked to see. So they're auctioning off these. Oh my gosh, Formula One cars.
Wow.
So, you know, I've talked about the metaverse, right? So they've got these metaverse places. So now there's this metaverse racetrack. And so they had an auction this week through Binance that you could buy these special edition Formula One cars that will come with all these bells and whistles to be super fast. Anyway, I'm thinking, how can I become, you know, a Formula One owner in this metaverse? Because they've got if you're into horses, they got horse racing tracks, and you can go and race horses in the metaverse. But you can buy these cars, and you buy them, and you can sell them down the road, right? There's a secondary market for it and all that. I don't know what the cars actually went for. I got to think about it. I thought, you know what? I'm probably going to spend, because I mean, God knows these things probably went for, you know, $30,000-$40,000, and I wasn't quite ready to jump off in the metaverse at that level. Mine was going to be somewhere much smaller than that. So anyway, didn't do it, but I'm looking at it, and I may get into the, you know, you ever been to a dirt track race where they run
figure 8 late model?
I mean, you know,
yeah, there's one in Watsonville we used to go to all the time.
you know, so it's just like regular Joes out there. They spend tons of money. Don't get me wrong. I knew some guys used to run dirt track, and it's not a cheap hobby by any stretch, but it's far less expensive than Formula One. So I'm thinking maybe there's going to be a dirt track version out there that I might be able to afford. I just don't think I'm ready for the Formula One version. But anyway.
So you're not ready to race cars in a pretend world. Is that what you're saying?
I'm not ready to finance racing a car in the pretend world. So
that
sounds
scary.
This pretend world's going to be it, man. We're not even being
I'm just thinking about like what somebody from our parents' generation or older would say, and that's basically what it would come out. No. Oh, so you're not ready to race a car in a pretend world?
True that. True that.
Sounds
Yeah,
risky.
no, there's. You think about the family. Yeah, some of the people that have come and gone that were from those generations of World War II and stuff like that in my family. It's like, yeah, the stuff we talk about and think about and where the future is going to be in the next 10 or 15 years, they'd be like, what in the world? So it's probably good that they
actually, it would have been more like, where did we go wrong?
Yeah, true that. All that we did.
Can I tell you
All
something,
right, well,
though?
hey, let's get to.
I was on Netflix.
No.
I was literally going to go look for the movie you wanted me to watch. And
but you can't remember the name of it, so that's not going to help.
Well, I've got it written down. No, it's in my queue. And the first thing that came up was the Bob Ross movie, and I was totally intrigued because I have been watching quite a bit of his painting over the last couple months. So, but I'm almost there. Like, the intention was there.
When you finally get to it, you're going. It's that good.
Really?
And Mason, Laura, I don't know if y'all ever watched Molly. I know, but yeah, you guys got to watch Molly. Everybody has to watch it.
All right. Almost there.
I wouldn't keep going on about it if I didn't think it was that. And it's, that stinking show you had me watch, you'll be thinking to yourself,
Alone?
Okay, I begged Craig to watch. Huh?
Your stinking
that
show
Alone
is
thing.
Okay.
The stinking Alone show. When you finally watch Molly, you're going to think, you know what? I begged Craig to watch that show. And then as though it somehow compared to this show he's given me to watch, it's like, you're just going to say to yourself, I feel bad that I offered up that silly show comparatively to Molly. That's how good it is.
Mm-hmm.
So, and Mason, Laura, you guys get on it, I'm telling you. All right. Hey, well, I want to get to what you're eating, and then we need to get on to eating. Actually, I got to get out. I got stuff going on today.
Oh, I don't.
I know. It's a wonderful thing about your life.
Get out of here. Well, this should be fast because I was pretty boring this week. I ate what I love, which is, that concoction of mixed veg, apple, avocado, nuts. It's, I'm kind of amazed when I eat that after, I did more like 18-hour intermediate fast this week. So when I eat like at 2 o'clock, good. I'm really not hungry for dinner. Uh-huh. I mean, I could almost just eat that one meal. I mean, it's a big bowl, but it's, cauliflower, broccoli, carrots, apples, avocado, nuts, olive oil, salt, pepper. Really, really good. So mine was boring, but I had.
But what it sounds like to me, but it sounds like you're not. So we talked about changing it up. Doesn't sound like you're changing it up.
I ate out quite a bit the week before, so I wanted something consistent and easy go to. So no, I didn't change it up. Guilty. I'm guilty. Guilty.
See, and but I don't know. So I had this thought actually yesterday as well about the whole changing up. So we have a pooch. She's a great dog. She's ancient. Still gets around like she's a youngin. She's 12, 13 years old, but literally you couldn't tell outside of a few gray hairs and missing teeth. But I was asking Ty, it's like, she eats the same thing every day. She's got nice poop. Her poop's super consistent.
That's great.
She well, is yours.
I can't wait to see the thumbnail on this one.
Good job, Tanya.
Good job, who?
Tanya?
No, the dog, not Tanya's poop.
I thought you said.
No, the damn dog's poop. The dog eats the same thing every day and has nice poop.
Sorry.
I
heard that wrong then. So I was like,
yeah.
That's got to be pretty boring for her. But...
yeah, so my point of this is the dog eats the same thing every day and seems to be healthy and vibrant and I'm sorry, consistent poop's kind of important, and having that, I just wonder, it would be boring. But maybe if I had 2 or 3 things that I ate every day, all week, that's all I ate. That were super nutritious, met all the needs and whatever. Wonder if that would be good or better. And it kind of goes against the change it up. It'd be boring, no doubt. But anyway, that I don't know.
But it's
Got off on the
very
poop thing. But
it eliminates. I mean, think about how many times you've had the conversation with people, mainly your family. What are we eating? What's for dinner? Where are we going? Are we cooking at home? Are we bringing something? I mean, all that drives me nuts. All the time spent talking about that. So when you have something that you can throw together, it's a go-to, it's nutritious, it's easy. Now, I might get sick of it, but for now I'm not. And it's it's a very pragmatic, system.
So that's why I say, I know in my 5 things they said change it up, but I don't know that. I think that if you've got something like that and you consistently do it, that may be, I don't know, that may be better as long as it doesn't get terribly boring for you or whatever. And I don't know. All right. Well, on mine, a couple of different ones. Well, one today is smoking a brisket and some ribs. Got them out. Well, you know what? Your favorite. It's not even a brisket. It's out here. It's tri-tip. So I got tri-tip smoking out on. Oh, I see those eyes. Oh, I know how you love that tri-tipper.
Mm-hmm.
Got a smoke on the tri-tip and some beautiful ribs.
So, question: is it fatty on one side, or did you get it all lean?
It's a clean tri-tip. So this I get. This is my whole barbecuing system has become this is at least, unless I really want to work at it, because I'll do a full-on regular brisket, but that's when I really want to work at it. But Costco does this pre-seasoned tri-tip and pre-seasoned ribs. Mm-hmm. I have a Traeger that I literally go fire up. I'll pull these dudes out of the package, throw them on there, and I'm good to go. It is the most 1, 2, 3 barbecue, it's me program you've ever seen.
Interesting.
And I feel guilty because it literally comes out amazingly good compared to what you'd pay at the old barbecue store. It's ridiculously cheap. And
you should feel guilty because when you said it, it sounded so like you're going to be working hard and you're going to be out in the smoke and the heat, and you watch these guys in these barbecue competitions and they're just drenched with sweat. They got sauce all over them. And just like, that's what I was imagining, not just open a package, throw it on the smoker, watch the app, pull it out, eat it. Because that's basically what you're doing.
That's exactly what I'm doing. Exactly. And the amazing thing is when you do this for people, it's crazy. I mean, even cooking brisket is no longer as tough as it once back in the day when I had a little freaking Weber potbelly thing that I had to, as a kettle. It was a miserable. I got a snake story around that someday we'll tell. But anyway, I mean, to go from those days to now doing this, and you see all the guys on TV still working their ass off, and that's great. And probably theirs is better than mine. But I would argue it's probably marginally better than what I smoke up. And, for me, for the amount of time that I'm putting into it, it's worth the no hassle. My life is about not making hassles in life. Living good without being a hassle. So... but the one thing I did want to bring up, a new item that I haven't tried, I just picked up yesterday at the old Safeway, and this is cauliflower gluten-free tortillas. Dudes look like, from an ingredient list, nothing terribly ridiculous. There's a couple of things on here I got to do some looking into, but the main thing is it's 90 calories per tortilla, gluten-free, and cauliflower is the first ingredient. Well, water's first ingredient. Cauliflower's number 2. So
I'd be interested to hear how those come out.
I'll let you know, sir. I'll let you know.
Yeah, I definitely miss tortillas. I mean, just as a utensil, or
Uh-huh.
or even just a vessel to, like, for example, you're going to cut up your brisket or your tri-tip and put it in the cauliflower tortillas. That's how you're going to eat it, like a taco.
Well, that may be one day. That's not the original meal. The original meal is just straight up meat and some sort of a vegetable program. Some onions. Probably had to saute some onions there. I did pick up some Brussels sprouts. My guess is today it will be brisket, Brussels sprouts, onions, and maybe a tater, if I had to guess. And then the ribs, of course, will be with it. So we'll have ribs. Yeah, that's pretty good. Used to back in the day. Now, I'll tell you what I love. Back when I didn't eat quite like this, fried okra. Oh, my gosh. You ever had fried okra, Ed?
Oh, yeah. Cornmeal battered fried okra.
Man, that's some smoking good stuff. Pickled okra is really good. I like pickled okra. I'm wondering, I guess that's not bad for you. It's okra. No bread.
Not in its natural snotty state. No, it's not.
Snotty okra. There's a fun crop. You ever grow that? Grow you some okra. You can grow okra anywhere. It'll grow anywhere, but it's miserable to deal with.
I have grown a little bit.
Little thing. Yeah. So, that's a vegetable we don't talk a lot about. Boiled okra. I can eat any kind of okra. I guess I like
other podcast.
Yeah, that needs to be what you eat. You need to be eating a dadgum okra with your little cauliflower mixto.
All right. Don't have to get angry about it.
Some boiled okra.
Well, I know you got to get to your tri-tip. So anything else we need to cover?
I do. Man, I don't know. We got football coming up. I mean, getting exciting. Opening day for college ball. I'm representing the Ags today with my Ag shirt on. This is going to be such a great season. I really think this may be the year we actually take Alabama down. Cowboys, I don't know, optimistic. Had fantasy football. I think we talked about that. Got my draft done. We'll see how that team works.
What did your draft consist of?
I don't know.
How did you do it? Was it a party? Was it a Zoom call? Was it just virtual?
No, it's the most. It's gone. So I do it with. They've let this old guy. Everybody's young in this group. These are kids that were playing soccer for me years ago. That's when I got in the league. And there were other dads and parents in the league back then when they were all kids and all got started. I'm the only dad that they didn't kick out or didn't actually want to leave.
You're the cool dad.
Maybe they wanted to kick me out, but I've hung on like a.
That's thumbnail material right there.
Yeah, I think
cool
it's probably
dad, like with the Fonzie leather jacket, the collar up. Cool dad.
No, you need
with
brown
the Bob
khakis,
Ross hair,
brown
eating
khakis.
okra.
You know what? Let Mason handle that. You know what? Let him handle it.
And then you got to work poop in there somewhere.
Historically, Ed has actually he's given me a lot of ideas for thumbnails throughout the episodes. So I want to shout him out real quick because he's on it. He's got the idea.
He's Mr. Creative for sure.
Yeah. Anyway, so cool dad.
So.
Gambling with kids.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying. Gambling with kids.
Yeah, that's good. It's real good.
That's what I'm about, buddy. Bringing that youth up to really be well educated in the ways of the world. That's what I'm all about.
Football season is a great time of the year, just all the way around. Weather, time of the year, holidays. I mean, it's the best.
Yeah.
In the golf world, it's BMW Championship weekend, second round of the playoffs. So I don't know if you watched, I guess it was Friday. Bryson was on 59 watch, missed putt on 18 to shoot a 59. But as he said so eloquently and positively, if he would have made a putt on the other hole, then he would have shot the 59. So anyway, he and Patrick Cantley are tied going into today's final round. So kind of exciting. This is the second round. Then the top 30 go to the playoffs. LPGA is off.
Cantley's the yeah, but I mean I think Cantley's story is something else.
Yeah.
he was out like 4 years back injury and were they at an event when his caddy got run over?
Mm-hmm. I believe they were in an event. Yeah.
Was
and
it?
I think he
I kind of
witnessed
got
it.
yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's quite the story. I actually am rooting for him, and hoping he comes. Certainly this weekend comes out on top. But man, he's playing some serious golf.
Yeah. He's pretty stoic too.
So
Yeah,
he's definitely got that stoic look about him for sure.
Yeah. You wonder what's going on.
Much more than Rahm. Rahm is not quite as stoic.
But he's tuned it down a lot. He's toned it down quite a bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's going on today. And LPGA Tour is off this week. Solheim Cup's next weekend. So I'm looking forward to watching that, or at least as much as I can. All right.
So,
well, get to your tri-tip. I'm getting
what you
hungry.
going to do today?
What
you going to do today?
I think I'm going to clean my office, get organized, start the week off right, do some work in the office, some work outside. I think that's pretty much it. Just try to get organized for the week. It's been a little chaotic. I've been on the road for the last 3 weeks, and I will be the next 2 for sure. So yeah, just kind of out of a rhythm after not technically traveling for so long.
Yeah, I'm about to begin my first gauntlet of travel since COVID. Of course, I've been out on some trips, but over the next 5 to 6 weeks, I think I'm gone 3 or 4 of them. So,
you taking the dog with you?
Anyway, not looking forward to it. To be honest with you, what's that?
Are you taking the dog with you?
I am not taking the dog with me.
Oh, okay.
She likes to be home when she does her pooping, so
Okay.
we have to leave her here. She doesn't like to poop outside the house. So
Great.
She gets all bound up. You're teeing that up. Okay?
Yeah.
I'm just hitting them out.
All
right, cowboy. It's time for us to wrap this bad boy up. Why don't you tell our faithful listeners how they can contact you and I and win a fabulous capper?
We're out of caps, by the way. But if somebody sends us some questions,
well then nobody can win a cap.
No, I'll make more. We'll make more.
Oh, okay.
Right?
All right.
Like us, follow us, repost, subscribe. At the Fresh CrEd on Instagram, at CrEd Fresh on Twitter, and the Fresh CrEd on YouTube. So, as Craig mentioned, follow, share, send a topic for discussion, some questions, and we'll send you a Fresh CrEd cap. Probably a different color than this one.
I don't know. Kind of like that one. Match your shirt. Oh, we didn't talk about that. That's what we didn't talk about. We got to remember. We got to talk coffee next time.
Okay. Well, by next time, you might have experienced going to the Black Rifle shop. So we can talk about that.
Which will make it even better.
Yeah.
Which will make it even better.
Hey, maybe we can have a podcast
so
from
we'll
there.
Have that together. Wow. I don't know.
Did
Whose
I just
equipment? Not mine. Mine won't work.
Blow your mind?
Blow your mind? Yeah. We could be together doing this.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. We just can't wrap this thing up. All right. I'm going to bring it to a close. Laura, Mason, Violet, as you quietly rest there sleeping. Violet, I hope you're not like indicative of our audience over there, because if so, that's not good for our show. But anyway, Eddie, you as well, sir. Have a great Sunday afternoon. Have a great week. And we'll see everybody back here next week. Take care, and we are out.